What's up guys, it's that time of year again. The video I make where Apple releases a new iOS version and there just happens to be a bunch of new jailbreak tweaks implemented into it. So let's go ahead and see where Apple got the inspiration for a lot of the features in iOS 11, both from the jailbreak and this time from Samsung, just a few features there. So this is the 10.2 jailbreak, obviously released earlier than iOS 11, and you'll see a lot of the features Apple included inside of iOS 11. It's a bit funny too because Apple completely hates jailbreaking, but they always managed to sneak some features in from the jailbreak into their new versions. I mean, just let it happen. Let us do it and take inspiration from it. In any case, the first one I'm going to start off with is a one-page control center. Yes, iOS used to have that, but jailbreak developers took iOS 10's two-page control center and turned it into one with the horseshoe jailbreak tweak. It's very functional, looks great, and hey, look at that. iOS 11 has a very similar concept here, combining it all into one page. And not only does iOS 11 get the one-page control center, it's now customizable as well, and in a very similar fashion to the one from iOS 10 jailbreak in earlier versions. So in this case, the jailbreak tweak we're talking about is CC settings or flip control center. There's a lot here. Basically, you can choose which toggles there are, what order they're in. Very, very similar to the concept on iOS 11 here. And it's honestly implemented much better on the jailbreak. Now, not only is the control center customizable, you'll find several new toggles that, hey, we've had on the jailbreak for ages. That includes the cellular data toggle, the low power mode, and of course, it's again not implemented as well. And a feature Apple seems to have hated forever is screen recording. They finally added it to iOS 11 with some limitations for a native screen recorder. Not only that, but there's a toggle for it in the control center, which we've also had with this tweak here. It adds one to the bottom row, quickly enables and disables screen recording. And I think the new interface for the screenshots, as well as the new features that come with it, like editing, marking up, cropping, and sharing right away, it's a great feature, but we've certainly seen it before in the jailbreak before. Of course, that one was done much better. You can highlight certain areas, you can move it around on the screen until you don't need it anymore, then you can dismiss it, but it's very, very similar to the new screenshot feature that we now do see in iOS 11. And one of those simple things that iOS should have had since the beginning, moving multiple apps at once, they finally added in iOS 11. Except us people on the jailbreak, we've been enjoying this feature for ages. The little feature that adds so much in simplicity. It's called multi-icon mover and multi-icon mover plus, where you can select multiples, move them to certain pages, and it's very, very easy to use. Can't help but think that it inspired the new feature in iOS 11. A very subtle one, but in iOS 11, there are no longer any icon labels in the dock. It's a very clean look. We've had it for quite some time with Hide Labels 10, where you can hide all of the icon labels, and it's honestly a very, very subtle but clean look. Now, with iOS 11, Apple gave us files. It's a neutered version of a file system. I mean, it completely sucks. It doesn't do much, but it does integrate well with third-party applications, I'll give it that. We've had this for the longest time, except with real root access on the jailbreak using file applications like FileZilla or iFile. A small one, but very, very similar in iOS 11. It allows you to pin notes of priority. You can do the same thing by holding onto notes with the Thumbtack Cydia tweak. This one's actually seems like it was deliberately copied. Being able to play the GIFs you send to friends through Messages app in your Photos application is a great feature. Apple finally added it. We've had it for quite some time with the GIF viewer. It would enable the stock photo application to seamlessly view GIF files, as well as in the preview menu below, so it does have an advantage. And the new Smart Invert feature you'll find in the accessibility settings of iOS 11. It works as a dark mode actually quite well. It doesn't reverse your content in most images, but it would of course be much better as a true system-wide dark mode. So in a way, this is the very same feature, just implemented a much better in iOS 11. It doesn't reverse your control center or many areas where you're going to be seeing your content, which is what I don't like about that feature in iOS 11. Apple definitely needs to tweak it, but we certainly had it much, much earlier in the jailbreak. And the one-handed keyboard. Now true, this feature was taken from iOS 10 where it wasn't enabled by default, but we've had it enabled on the jailbreak far longer, and it actually works better. Swipe in from the side to enable it, and much easier to set than in iOS 11. Apple finally made the volume HUD less intrusive with a very tiny pop-up on the top, and where have we seen that before? Very, very similar to Sonos or Status Vol X. There are several tweaks that do this. this. One of my favorite features in iOS 11 that I thought Apple originally overlooked is the ability to set gestures for your AirPods. It's great, but we've had it for longer using the Silica Jailbreak tweak. Plus, there were more settings here also. Now, the only thing is you can't do left or right ears. Now, these are old ones from back in the day iOS 6 era, but there was an extension you can get for Siri to translate directly in-app, something Apple just added. Also, a native QR code reader inside of the camera application. None for the newer iOS 10 versions, but still, it was available way back in the day, much earlier than Apple decided to add it just now. And I just wanted to cover a few features Apple mimicked from the Samsung Android community. So very similar to the Jailbreak, they also took the ability to move multiple apps at once, something you've been able to do on a Samsung phone for a very long time now. The ability to translate languages inside of your AI assistant, Google now has been able to do this for a very long time. Apple just got it. The screenshot ability where you can directly edit them right away, customize, crop them, and share them. So that setting page was in Android for a very long time and Apple just got it. So this one was definitely very intentional here in terms of copying. And even the quick settings page from Android sort of got ripped off where you can customize the toggles and add more. I know it also came from the Jailbreak, but this was definitely inspired by both Android and from the Jailbreak, the customizable control center here. So overall, guys, there it is. Those are the features Apple seems to have taken from the Jailbreak community and from Android. Now, I'm not saying it was completely deliberate. Could have been something that they've been working on their own and did slightly different. I don't even know. But all I'm saying is that jailbreaking is a great thing. You know, Apple has a lot to learn from it, from the creativity of its developers. So I think Apple should allow us to do that. I know that's never going to happen, but you can't deny that Apple was inspired by at least a few jailbreak tweaks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Enjoy iOS 11. Peace.